Okay, Chris Chen here, doing an unfiltered video. Today is March 26th, 2016. Today is my last day in Europe. I'm currently in Copenhagen, Denmark, about to board my flight to LAX. So my flight is in just, like 30 and about half an hour and stuff. Let's see, what do I want to say in this video? Maybe like my lessons from Europe. I guess some things is that European people tend to be very punctual. I've noticed. For example, this morning I was thinking about eating breakfast at my hostel, but the guy was like, "Oh, your flight is in like 2 hours. Oh, you should probably go." It's basically the mentality that I think a lot of Americans would be like, "Yeah, sure, let's fit more stuff within our schedule instead of having a good safety margin, room for error kind of thing." And Europeans would make the conscious decision like, okay, let's take away that extra comfort, make it simpler, and have an extra room for error. So that was like a decision I made, and I feel pretty good about it. I just ate my breakfast on the train. I think when I go back to America, I'll become more punctual, and I'll make different decisions, about this punctuality thing. I think just being here in the osmosis has taught me a lot. Another thing is don't hold grudges. For example, when I was at the hostel, right, I was really angry when the receptionist dude was like, okay, to get your key card, we need your passport or driver's license. And I'm like, dude, no one has ever asked for that for a key card. At most, they asked for like a $5, €5 deposit. And I was like, can I just give money instead? And he was like, okay, fine, but it's a $30 US, which is 200 Danish krones. And then I was like, the fuck, and I just gave it to him. And it was kind of like a strange moment because it was kind of like one of those, yeah, who's the boss kind of thing. But, okay, but the lesson doesn't end there. It was afterwards when I went back, I was all like, at the hostel, I was all like, oh man, like this hostel sucks. I'm gonna write such an angry review on Hostel World and I'm gonna give them like bad shit and stuff. But then, if I really wanted to maintain that attitude, I would need to maintain that anger for 3 days. And it's just like, I need to be angry for 3 days just so I can write a negative review of them, or I can forget it and make friends with the people there and the staff and just have a better time. So I needed the staff's help, so then I was like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. And then we became friends. And it was good. The guy's name was like Sauron or something, which is really ironic because that's like the name of the evil guy from Lord of the Rings. But yeah, Sauron and I got along pretty well. And, it was just whatever. I wanted to pay cash, I got paid cash, and I got my deposit back in the end. It was perfectly fine. Everything was fine, Let's see what else. I think early on in the trip, I was recognizing the difference between being flexible versus having structure. And I realized being flexible does require structure. Just like a rubber band has structure, and there needs to be that structure in order for it to stretch and flex. If there's no structure at all, water has no structure, it's not flexible, it's just amorphous. So being flexible does require structure, and being flexible requires that you change the structure of it, but you do need some structure beforehand. So it's kind of interesting, I didn't know that it's like they're connected, structure and flexibility. Another thing I noticed was I was just angry all the time, and I'm not sure where this anger is coming from, but it's definitely something I should look into. Like my mom has told me, like, oh, Chris, you're like so angry all the time, but almost everyone I come across is like, yeah, Chris, you're so positive, you have such a positive attitude. So it's never really occurred to me. However, on this vacation, I got white hair, I have like this jaw problem from like clenching my teeth too tight. I think I've just been really angry recently, and it's an issue I want to look at. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, yeah, I think romantic versus friendships with girls, I think that's something that was really interesting too. I think on this trip, there hasn't been many like romantic encounters where it's like, I really like that girl. A lot of times it's like you're just friends with people, and often that's just a lot more liberating, a lot freer, and a lot less stressful. A lot of times when they're like, I think I do kind of like this girl, then it's like you go out of your way to spend time with her or do things with her, and sometimes that's kind of stressful by itself. Maybe it's like a little overrated. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this, but it's like I do think you can be friends with girls. I guess that's a takeaway. Overall, this trip, I'm really glad I did it. I feel like more empowered now, having done this, going to so many different countries, and yeah, being on my own and stuff. I feel a lot more empowered. And yeah, I think that's about it. That's a good video. Okay. Bye.